President Putin says the sanctions imposed on Russia represent the biggest current threat to the world economy. Mr. Putin was speaking at an economic forum in the eastern city of Vladivostok when he said that the sanctions were a futile and aggressive attempt to isolate Moscow, and they amounted to a declaration of economic war. The West imposed the sanctions because of the Russian invasion of Ukraine.
After the pandemic, different challenges arrived that have also been global in nature and pose a danger to the whole world. I'm talking about the West sanction fever. Its brazen and aggressive attempts to force others on how to behave, deprive them of their sovereignty and force them into submission. There is nothing unusual about that. This policy has been used by the West for decades.
Let's go live to Moscow, where we can speak to our Russia editor, Steve Rosenberg. Steve, welcome. Well, a determined and defiant speech from President Putin, as much, it seems, for a Western audience as his domestic one. Tell us what he had to say.
Yeah, we just heard there, didn't we? Vladimir Putin accusing the West of being brazen and aggressive. I found that quite extraordinary. He gave a 35-minute speech in which he spent a lot of the time bashing the West, accusing the West of trying to deprive Russia of sovereignty, blaming the West over imposing sanctions against Russia. And yet he made no reference at all in that 35-minute speech to the reason why the West imposed heavy sanctions on Russia. In other words, the Russian invasion of Ukraine. And that is a very good example, I think, of the kind of alternative reality, the parallel reality that the Kremlin tries to create around Ukraine. No mention at all of the reason why the West has been trying to put pressure on Russia and trying to portray Russia as the innocent victim in all of this.
And this was an economic forum. Who was the audience? Who was he appealing to?
An economic forum indeed, but an economic forum very much focused on the East, on Asia. What Vladimir Putin is trying to do is to repivot his country's economy away from the West towards the East, to Asia, to Asian markets like China. A very, very big delegation from China was in the hall today in Vladivostok. Now, how successful President Putin is going to be and how quickly he can repivot things, well, no one knows, but he's determined to do so. And actually, he came across as someone who still appears to be supremely confident. I mean, things haven't gone according to plan on the battlefield in Ukraine, but he still believes that he can get through this. The Russian economy hasn't collapsed. Many predicted it would. Things are going to get tougher, I'm sure, in the next few months, but he believes that he can restructure things and reorient the economy from the West to the East.
And of course, in the meantime, the country has lost a lot of its energy exports that were going to the EU. Not all of them, but are they managing to make up for that and send them elsewhere? Do they have other customers, other clients now?
Well, I think they're selling, for example, to China and to India at a discount. But Vladimir Putin today said there was a budget surplus. So at the moment, the money is coming in. And President Putin talked a lot today about energy. He slammed the idea, which is being considered by some Western nations, of imposing a price cap on Russian energy exports as stupid. And he threatened to stop supplying oil and gas completely if a price cap was introduced.
OK, Steve in Moscow for now.